Welcome back, everyone. Let's jump straight into today's explainer, because we're looking at something incredibly timely. What actually makes a startup founder successful in the age of AI? We're pulling these insights straight from someone who literally helped write the playbook, Sam Altman. Look, the rules of building a billion-dollar company, they've practically changed overnight. So whether you're building something right now, leading a team, or just tracking the space, wrapping your head around this new leadership landscape is, frankly, absolutely essential.
So what makes a founder successful in this new era? Drawing on his time running Y Combinator and obviously building OpenAI, Sam points out a profound shift. We're not just looking at a tiny software update to the classic Silicon Valley model. No, we are witnessing a fundamental, ground-up rewiring of what a successful business even looks like. The exact traits that made someone a rock star founder 10 years ago? Yeah, they aren't the same traits that'll help you win tomorrow.
Here is our incredibly quick playbook for today. We're hitting 4 main pillars. 1, the rise of the idea guy. 2, aligning elite talent. 3, radical transparency. And 4, becoming infrastructure. Okay, starting right off with section 1, the rise of the idea guy, and the new founder archetype.
This completely flips the script. Back in the day, if you didn't have a technical co-founder, Y Combinator basically thought your team was impossible to get off the ground. Building an MVP was just too grueling, too expensive. Honestly, we used to mock the idea guys who couldn't write a single line of code. It was like saying, hey, I have a great idea for a hit song, but I need to find a guy with a guitar to actually make it. Well, today, AI is your coder. The technical barrier to entry has basically collapsed, meaning all the value has shifted directly to how deeply you understand your user.
And putting his venture capitalist hat on, Sam notes this is literally the revenge of the idea guy. That is exactly who he wants to fund right now. Think about how empowering that is. It means your bottleneck isn't writing complex syntax or managing a massive engineering team anymore. It's empathy. It's your human insight and your ability to design a ridiculously intuitive solution to a real user problem. Which brings us to section 2, aligning elite talent. Basically, how do you manage the iconoclasts? Because, look, an idea is great, but how do you get elite, highly opinionated talent to build together without just tearing each other apart? In the cutting-edge AI space right now, the gap between the absolute best researcher and the 20th best is massive. You desperately need these brilliant, strong-willed thinkers in your building, but if you have a room full of prima donnas who all think their way is the only way, how do you stop them from pulling the company in a dozen conflicting directions at once? Well, Sam's magic formula here involves forcing alignment through deeply shared convictions. You have to establish what you collectively believe in, make a massive bet on one unified direction, aggressively concentrate your resources, and just ruthlessly ignore the outside noise. You get these hyper-talented people to voluntarily drop their huge egos because the shared mission is undeniably compelling and absolute. There's zero room for side projects or fragmented attention. To put that into perspective, look at the development of GPT-3. OpenAI took the vast majority of their entire organization's compute power and pointed it at one single research program. They had critics warning them about creating a toxic culture. In fact, when they were recruiting from places like DeepMind, candidates literally told them this strategy was insane, that you have to divide resources equally to keep all your star researchers happy. But OpenAI? They demanded conviction. They pointed everything at one target, and that uncompromising focus is exactly what birthed the AI revolution we're sitting in today.
Moving right along to section 3, radical transparency. Let's talk about automating the internals.
What's fascinating is that top CEOs aren't just selling AI products, they're actively mandating that their own internal company processes get automated. Take Toby Lutke at Shopify. He didn't just casually ask his team to, maybe play around with AI on the side. He actively built automations himself and declared that the whole company would integrate AI into their daily workflows. If you want your team to be relentlessly efficient, that standard has to come straight from the top. And the most effective startups are doing this through something we can call uncomfortable permissiveness. This means giving your internal AI systems completely unrestricted access to your company's sensitive data. We're talking code bases, every single Slack message, recorded meetings, private email threads, the whole shebang. Now sure, it feels inherently risky, and yeah, there are obvious privacy hurdles, but the companies willing to be this uncomfortable and grant radical transparency are seeing terrifyingly powerful efficiency gains that their competitors literally cannot match. For a perfect example, look at the crypto startup Tempo. They have a single Slack bot, fully orchestrated by AI, executing this mind-blowing multi-step workflow. You just ask the AI to do a complex task in plain English.
Boom, it instantly reads the Google Docs for context, generates engineering tickets in an app like Linear, writes the actual raw code for a pull request, deploys it, and then checks the logs to make sure it actually worked. 4 massive steps, entirely seamless, zero human intervention. That is what true radical automation looks like.
All right, bringing us to Section 4, Becoming Infrastructure, let's look at the long-term play. Once you have the team and the automation, how do you position your company for the future? Well, traditional SaaS was all about high margins and niche users, right? Finding a weakness and patching it. But in the AI era, building a flimsy wrapper that just patches a current model's flaw is a death trap, because the very next AI update, it'll wipe your business out entirely. Successful founders are aiming for a forever low-margin, massive, ubiquitous scale. They want to build robust systems designed to grow and improve alongside the models as they inevitably get smarter.
Sam actually views the ultimate endgame here as an intelligence meter. Basically, you function exactly like an infrastructure provider or utility company for the internet. Think about the electricity in your house. You don't obsess over the power plant or the grid. You just plug your device into the wall and pay for the raw power you actually use. That's the ultimate AI business. Position yourself as the wall outlet, providing raw, scalable intelligence as fundamental infrastructure for thousands of other businesses to build on top of.
By operating this high-volume, low-margin utility, you perfectly align your success with your users' growth. It's exactly the playbook Stripe used for digital payments. You keep margins intentionally low, so the switching costs are way too high for anyone to ever leave your ecosystem. And as your customers succeed and consume more intelligence, you scale right alongside them automatically. You literally become the invisible, indispensable engine powering the economy.
So bringing it all together, the AI Founder Playbook is pretty crystal clear. You've got to lead with deep user insights as the idea guy, align your iconoclastic talent through absolute shared conviction, automate internal workflows fearlessly with radical transparency, and build lasting, indispensable infrastructure. It's no longer about being the smartest coder in the room, guys. It's about visionary alignment, relentless internal efficiency, and setting your sights on becoming the bedrock for everyone else.
Knowing all of this, I'll leave you with a provocative thought. How are you going to rewire your own workflows and team structure for this new era? Seriously, take a hard, honest look at your team today. Are you genuinely leaning into uncomfortable permissiveness? Are you empowering user empathy over coding syntax? Are you building a company for the world of yesterday, or are you ready to implement these tactics to thrive in the age of AI? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this sparks some game-changing ideas for your own journey.